Good blessed Sunday morning, November the 29th, 2015. Time being 9:33 a.m. Central Time or Charleston, Missouri time. I'd like to greet every human being on the face of this earth, whether you my friends or enemies, no matter what your nationality, race, creed, religion may be. With the peace and blessings of God be upon you. As I tell you once, I'll tell you again. The Bible in which I believe in, I knock no man's religion, no matter what you may believe. But I believe, as the Bible tells me and teaches me, that the sun shines on the just as well as the unjust. For those that's doing good as well as those that's doing bad. God give all of us an opportunity to change our evil and wicked ways. We have a free will to do that. It's not by force. I also believe that all of our righteousness is like filthy rags. I also believe that all, not some, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Today I come to you because so many people ask me, what am I seeking? All these things that I speak about in Charleston, Missouri, some happened 15 years or so ago. But let me tell you about a young 14-year-old black young man in South Carolina in 1944 by the name of George Junius Stickney. If I'm not pronouncing his middle and last name right, is Junior, that is. His middle name is spelled Junius. His last name is spelled Stinney. He was executed by the state of South Carolina because he was accused of murdering two white females. That's been the history of this country. And I'm not blaming all white people for what's been happening. Surely I'm not giving all black people the credit for trying to disclose all of this injustice that's been going on. But he was executed 1944. This year would be 71 years ago, but 70 years ago, just last year, a judge finally vacated his sentence, which is too late as far as him not being executed because they wasted no time. But the judge vacated his sentence just to clear his name. How many more of us today that said we just gave up, we give up because of 1 or 2 years of nothing happening? Back in June, the 25th, of the year 2000 here in Charleston, Missouri. Charleston, Missouri reminds me of North or South Carolina back in those days. Or remind me the way they did 14-year-old Emmett Till. But this chief of police, that's the chief now, Robert Bobby Hearns, came to my home with no justification. None whatsoever. No probable cause. It took me out of my house a couple of minutes after about 2 o'clock in the morning, a.m. by force. I want the Justice Department. I want some legal people. I want some investigative journalists to go down to the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. You can start with my case because I know it's thousands or more if they did me like this. See, I know how they done did other people. Look at the police report. It's typed up. If he try to change it, I got copies in every state just about. The Justice Department even have it in Washington, D.C. His family had too many ties to Jefferson City, the capital. Like I told you before, this Captain Bobby Hearns family have too much power. His uncle was the governor here, Warren Hearns, may rest in peace. Warren Hearns' wife was a Missouri State Representative, Betty Hearn, she's still alive. And they running this corrupted, racist, Democratic Party down here. It's like Ku Klux Klans with black members in it, including the NAACP. But I want you to look at that typed up police report that he has. His racist white partner, Beth ACAP, who's not on the police force anymore. If you do some research on her, she done been divorced about 5 times. Cheating. But anyway, look at her typed up police report, and then there's one in the middle. When a so-called victim being something happened to them, most police have them, they have a A for answer and a Q for question. It's one handwritten. The A supposed to be the police writing the question. And the Q supposed to be the answer for the alleged victim. Look at all 3 of them. You will see one thing, that whoever wrote this handwritten statement, 2 people didn't do it. You don't have to be a handwritten analysis specialist to see that it was written by the same person. And then when you look at all 3 of these here, you will see for a fact that there's no question or doubt that these things was falsified, because it's too many things said in each one of them that's not said in the other. It can't be but one story. That's one case. When they came in my house, May the 19th, 2008, a little bit after midnight, no justification to come in there to take my then barely 1 and 2 year old daughters. Hold me by gunpoint. No DCF involvement. Knowing their mother was on heroin and crack. Knowing she was on the streets for 3 days and 3 nights. I have a police report at that same station. Go look at it. Written by Officer Morgan, if he's still here. Look at that report. It's dated. It's dated May the 17th, 2008, about 1:30 p.m. I gave her 24 hours after she left out the house, like normal people do before they put a missing person in. I told them their history. Look at it. And tell me why they came back and took my kids out. I asked the chief of police the next day, why did they take my children? He said he didn't have nothing to do with it. He said it was DCF. If DCF had something to do with it, they'll come to my house first. But this is how they operate. Look at the way they did my children in school. February the 1st of 2012. White bus driver being left alone with my daughters. Nothing done to him. Pulling out a knife. Frightening my daughter to the point, since 2012 to this very day, they're seeing a child psychologist for what's been happening to them in this town. My reason for this is to tell you, if they fought for over 70 years to clear this man's name, I'm not going to give up my fight. Look in Chicago. Here it is. The young man McDonald was murdered October last year. They gave hush-hush money like they did here in Charleston, Missouri. The NAACP leader, Arthur Cassell, helped these police and these crooked city officials to cover up murders and other things that's happening down here, because he get his little money out of it. Him and those 5 churches that's named in that unified coalition against violence here. Check the record. Here it is, October last year. Now, this year, a judge made them disclose that video of that shooting in Chicago when the police shot this man 16 times like he was an animal. Each police that was out there, once he pulled that trigger the second time, they should be locked up for accessory to murder, because they know the law. The law says he clearly couldn't have did what he did. If me and you was out there shooting somebody and I shot him Every one of y'all that was out there with me would be charged with accessory to murder. Look up the law, especially in Illinois. Don't let them aldermen that voted to get at whoever they gave that $5 million to keep quiet. Take them out of office, black and white. It's a shame when I seen one of them name on there I was in the penitentiary with. I've been asking him to help me for 19 years. He don't know me no more. He know who he is. I don't have to mention his name. And then all of you organizations, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. All you organizations that popping up out on these protesters, if you ain't for the cause, move out the way, because it's a new generation out here. We got to lead by example. If we protesting, let's do like the 4th Amendment says. Peacefully assemble and protest. You don't need to point your hand all in the police's face. You don't need to be cussing them out. You asking for trouble. You showing the other people that's following you, if you do it, they do it. Then if they do it, it's going to start something. Somebody going to get killed because they looking at what you doing. But I'm going to continue to fight mine, y'all. I'm going to continue to set these people out. What's sad about it, I'm fighting against white supremacists and black sellouts who keep covering it up because I'm the only one speaking up. But I ain't going to stop speaking up because I know my voice is being heard. I know God is with me, just like he was with David against Goliath. If you don't know the story, they offered David a big shield. It was too big. It was bigger than him. He didn't want that. Goliath had all type of armor on. David had outsmarted this giant. A giant can be a tall person, a big person against a little bitty person, or it can be a whole city against one person. But you got to know how to fight. You don't fight on their terms when they trying to attack you. David got him a slingshot and a couple of rocks, pebbles, whatever you want to call it, and took that giant down and took his head off. That's how you kill a snake. That's what I'm fighting against down here. A bunch of snakes. They all around me. They moving them all around me. But they can't touch me because God's anointing is on me. And it's revealing all this crooked stuff that these blacks doing. That's why out of 5,947 people, all of YouTube videos I got on talking about white supremacists, police, ain't now white person took me to court. They got a house Negro, a sellout, Gillespie to try to go up against me to claim that my video is trying to incite a riot. Look at videos all over the place. He said I'm stalking him. I'm not stalking you. But I want to tell y'all, I won't give up this fight. I'm going to continue to let the federal government see what's going on in Charleston, Missouri. If don't nobody else help me. You see, last night, some people asked me, they call and say, well, what was the sense of putting this unoccupied police substation on Vine Street on a YouTube video showing steam coming out of the chimney? I said, because it's unoccupied. The chief say he don't have money to keep it open. But until just a few months ago, they turned the lights off because I was talking about that. Now, if the steam coming out of there, steam ain't coming out unless heat in there. Somebody paying for that. Taxpayers is. My point. Everything that I see them do, I want the Justice Department to come down and investigate these people. All of them that I'm talking about. I give credit to the pastor, female pastor at St. Mark's. Back in December of 2010, when the young girl got killed right across from this unoccupied sub-police station, her and one other minister, a white minister, came out with all of us when we had a candlelight vigil. Wasn't none of them 5 churches there. They said that they're part of the coalition against violence here in Charleston. Wasn't none of the police or nobody else there because they didn't care. Y'all got to keep paying attention what's going on. You got to stop letting these sellouts lead y'all. Peace Be still.